I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Good morning, fellow INTERPEEPS. I am Scarab, you're watching Scarabic Enterprises. Welcome to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for caring for my health if you've seen the thumbnail or read the title of this video. I just came back from the doctors today. I promised you guys it'd be a three-part series is what I was going to do, and let you guys know when I got my stitches removed and all that sort of stuff. This is an update. So it's not going to be a three-part series. It's going to be a little bit longer than that, in terms of the healing process and everything. So I went to the doctors today. I saw a different doctor as I wasn't exactly happy with the doctor who performed the procedure, just in general. I'm not going to name the practice or anything because the nurse there was really nice and I believe is probably the most professional, the most professional medical professional in that place, except for one person who saw me on day 2 and got one of the stitches removed and was like, why did they stitch you like this? It doesn't make sense. Who has gone on vacation for 4 months. So that person, the one person who I feel is competent, is not going to be there. So I have another appointment on Monday. I'm a little bit worried, but I'm going to be okay. It's just last night, I had to redress my wound and I got a proper good look at it. It's not healing the way it's meant to be healing. And it kind of looks like the Eye of Sauron. I know that's hilarious, but when that's on your wingy dingy, that's not a good thing. So where the stitches were, it didn't heal up like a straight line. It's not supposed to be like that. It looks like the Eye of Sauron. But today, I last night when I dressed it, I made sure to close it up and I put the stereo strips on and everything, and stereo strips. I can't remember what they're called. It doesn't really matter. The medical adhesive tape stuff that's sterilized. I don't know. I put that on and I made it on to put it on tight to make sure to close the wound, because the stitches are out and it needs to stay together so then it can grow. So grow or heal. So what's actually happening is the wound is kind of like this. So it's kind of like the Eye of Sauron, but it's actually starting to heal in from the sides, which means eventually it will close. But yeah, it's healing in from the sides. The only problem is pathology came back and one of the swabs revealed that I have a staph infection. Now, I have been on antibiotics. I've only got one left, but having a staph infection can be very serious, but it can also be very minor. Just considering where it is, I just hope it doesn't get into the bloodstream, considering the incisions are next to veins and everything as well, because if a staph infection gets into your blood, it can lead to death, which is not good. But that being said, it's also highly infectious, so it can spread really easily, which means that I have to be really careful with my clothes and everything. I have to inform my housemate that I have a staph infection, and to separate things, I'm going to have to wash my clothes separately. Obviously not wash my underwear and my pants and stuff with my towel, and I'm going to have to wash that in hot water, soapy water, that sort of thing, let it soak, and make sure that it doesn't spread. And keep my clothes as separate from everyone else's as possible, because we do not want to spread the staph infection. Now, I have been taking every precaution when it comes to redressing the wound myself. Whenever the stereo strips got loose, or the gauze or the adhesive would get loose and was exposed to any sort of air, and as staph is, I think it's an airborne bacteria, it's I would close it up immediately or just instantly redress it, and then put the betadine on, let it dry, do the thing, clean it down with alcohol wipes and stuff, like get rid of the adhesive and all that sort of stuff. and then, you know, tighten it up with the stero strips, put the gauze on, do everything that I do, and I'm wearing gloves while I'm doing this, and I wipe down the gloves as well with the alcohol wipes and everything as well, just to double up on the possibilities of you know, reducing any sort of thing. But getting any sort of clinical procedure, any sort of thing in a hospital, any sort of surgery or anything, a staph infection is fairly common. So it's nothing to worry too much about. I wouldn't worry, like, I don't think my life is on the line at the moment. I don't think my dick is going to fall off. But, I mean, if that's the case, then, hey, let's just get a sex change. Let's just change it up a bit. I'm all for character customization. You've seen my Cyberpunk video. I don't know. I'm just saying, shit is making me a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. I am a bit anxious. It's an area that's sensitive, and I don't want it to be like, first it started off as a joke. I'm just like, yeah, let's get a cut out of me and all that sort of stuff. But like, this is saying, I don't want to discourage people from going to go see a doctor. If you've got a problem, go see a doctor and get it looked at. Okay, that is just common sense. Don't be embarrassed about your body. Don't be embarrassed about showing it to someone. Well, I mean, don't just go out and expose yourself in public. I'm saying go to your doctor and get things checked. But sometimes you do get a good doctor. Sometimes you get a bad doctor. Sometimes you get you know, I mean, they're all medical professionals. They got their fucking qualifications. So, you know, it's just better to get checked than to not. And it's good that we got the swabs from pathology, because now we know that there's a staph infection. Even though I'm on antibiotics, I still managed to get one. I just need to be on antibiotics for another couple of weeks, maybe up to another 7 days. Who knows? That should be fine. We should be able to fix it. I'm just a little bit worried because I don't want to have the Eye of Sauron on the side of my penis. I want to have a nice healed wound that will, you know, scar, and then after the scar, put some bio oil on it and all that sort of stuff, and get it down to, you know, just being a regular scar. And my scars are pretty, like, they heal pretty good. I got one on my arm, which you won't be able to see. And that was a 3rd degree burn. And it's like, it's gone. Like, there is no mark there anymore. But that was from welding. And I had, it was like glowing, like white hot, red hot, like just between white and red hot. So fucking lots of hotness. And I had that burn on my arm when I turned around. It went through the clothes and into my arm. I had a 3rd degree burn. But it's like not visible at all. It's gone. And I didn't put bio oil on it. I didn't put anything on it. It just sort of healed by itself. I mean, I obviously looked after the wound, but I'm saying that I didn't put anything on it to like make the scar go away. It just went away. And it took a few months to go away. It was like strange. But I heal pretty well. So I'm not worried about that too much. But I will be using bio oil to get it down. Because I don't want a discolored fucking part of my penis, man. That's just gonna be weird and uncomfortable. But yeah, this all started as like, hey, this will be fun and all that sort of stuff. But now, when things complicate medically, there's always that little sinking feeling when you're like, if something goes wrong, you go, oh no. Now, that being said, during the surgery, I was looking at the nurse, and this is what I'm saying. The nurse will not name the place or the nurse, because I just, you know, have respect for their, you know, their confidentiality. But she was very nice, and I think is a very competent medical professional. That being said, even she was looking at the doctor who was performing the surgery in a way that was like, what are you doing? You know? So that didn't fill me with confidence. And every time I see this doctor, he contradicts himself, and then he says the complete opposite of what should be happening. So I don't trust that doctor. That's why I decided to go to another doctor today. But that doctor today was incredibly rude, had no bedside manner, and was acting as if he was like some guy who's been working at McDonald's for 10 years, hates his life, and just doesn't want to deal with people. Like, it was like dealing with someone like that. You know what I mean? It just hostile. And I said 4 times at this appointment, I said to him 4 times, there's no need to be rude. I respect you as a medical professional. I'm just telling you that if you put it on like that, it won't hold because it's a sensitive area. It moves around a lot. The skin is also just in that area. It's more flexible, and it's also like for example, if you go to take a piss or something, you have to. All right, for anyone that doesn't want to hear something gross, just block your ears for the next 10 seconds. You have to peel the foreskin back to take a piss or something like that, and then that in itself will crinkle the area, and since it's on the shaft along here, then if you're crinkling that area, that's going to open it up. So having the stitches removed and getting the stitches removed, in my opinion, a little bit too early, and not just that, but having the stitches done in a shit way, that's why it didn't heal properly. And that is my opinion on the fact that it's... I mean, the infection can happen anyway, but I'm saying the reason it's not healing properly is because we did the wrong fucking thing. It's got nothing to do with how I'm dressing it. It's got nothing to do with how they're dressing it. It's got to do with if you're going to make the incision, you got to stitch it up right the first time so that it can heal properly and then look after that. Now, I was irresponsible in getting the stitches done and then building this chair in the same day was a fucking stupid idea. It was just a stupid idea. I knew it was a stupid idea. I just didn't care. But I could have been a little bit more responsible when it comes to that. But that being said, doing it didn't rip the stitches, didn't stretch them, didn't hurt it at all. It was just it was a sensitive area, and when I bumped myself, there was a little part of that was kind of funny. I'll be fine in a week. But when I bumped myself, I was like, ooh, yeah, okay, that's sensitive. But it didn't do any harm. Now, the harm came from after the second day we had a stitch removed, which meant the other stitches were loosened up because they didn't stitch it individually. They actually had a continuous stitch, which is another thing that I have a problem with, because when you're going to stitch a wound like this, you don't want to have the interweaving stitches because it can move around. You want to stitch one and close it off, stitch two, close it off, stitch three, close it off. In this area, that would make more sense because it's such a flexible area. Having an interweaving stitch is a very bad idea. Having them connected is not a good thing to do. And I know this because I've got a little bit of medical training myself, just because I did security, and I've helped people before when it comes to patching them up and stuff like that. So it's not hard. I was so tempted to ask them to just let me stitch it myself, but at the moment, restitching it or reopening the area and then stitching it back up, I'm open to. But because I've got a staph infection, that's a very bad idea. That would make it worse and expose it to fresh blood, which means it could get into the cells, which could lead to something more severe. So right now, I'm a little bit concerned, but nothing to worry about too much. I just thought I'd give you guys a quick update because, well, you guys have been on this ride with me and you guys have been very supportive. So thank you all for that. But definitely go see your doctors. Look, this is this is a horror story at the moment, but I'm glad that I got it removed in general. I'm glad I got the cyst removed, or the cyst, or the whatever they called it, whiner, removed in general, because it needed to be, and I left it too long. Now, none of this would have happened had I had, instead of tried to deal with it myself, if I would have gone and got it removed earlier on, this wouldn't be a problem, and it probably would have just been a simple, okay, if you even need stitches, one stitch. But because I left it for so long, and I left it for a year, I let it sit there for a year, man. Not to mention, I didn't want to go to doctors and stuff because of COVID and everything, and I was like, well, I'm an asthmatic, I didn't want to have my respiratory system attacked. And for half of COVID, I didn't have a mask, I just stayed inside. Half of the lockdown is what I mean. I just stayed inside. until I did get a mask. But yeah, it's just if you've got a problem, get it checked right away. Get it checked fucking now. That is my medical advice to you guys. Is if you have any issues, if you have any lingering problems, anything like that, you need to get it checked immediately. Now, don't go rush into the hospital because they still need to have their beds available for people that are dealing with COVID and that are dealing with a whole bunch of other like serious issues and stuff. But I'm saying that go to your doctor because your doctor will help you. They will do the best they can to help you. And if you need something removed or whatever, it's better to get onto it sooner rather than later. I waited too long, and that is why we've got complications. So in a sense, it's my fault. But at the same time, what they've done could have been done in a better way. That is just my opinion. I think they could have stitched it better, and then it would have healed better. And if they would have listened to me, I think it would have been a better result. I need to sneeze. Ha ha ha!